to their debate process.
On immigration, the president plans on imposing a 5% tariff on imports from Mexico starting June 10th and could possibly go as high to 25% if Mexico does not do enough to stop illegal crossings. You are from El Paso. What do you think the effect of that would be?
This is about the dumbest idea economically that this president has come up with. There are 6 million jobs in the United States that are connected to U.S.-Mexico trade. 40% of what we import from Mexico actually originated on U.S. factory floors. So by setting a tariff or a tax on what we import, we're actually taxing ourselves, and we're undermining those 6 million jobs here in the United States of America. And it will do nothing, absolutely nothing, to address the root problem, which is that some of the most violent countries on the face of the planet are unable to protect their citizens, and they're willing to flee 2,000 miles to come to the U.S.-Mexico border to seek asylum. My plan calls for no new tariffs on Mexico to ensure that we strengthen that trading relationship to the benefit of our workers and our economy, and that we invest in the challenges in Guatemala, in Honduras, in El Salvador, reduce violence there, address the historic drought in Honduras, perhaps using the expertise of United States farmers to ensure that people don't have to make that journey and don't come to this country where today they're greeted by walls or cages for their kids or deportations for their parents. This is a really bad policy, economically, morally, any way that you look at it.
So what you're talking about, though, with the focus on Central America would seem to be sort of a longer-term solution. In the near term, you have, for instance, today, the Office of Refugee Resettlement announcing it is moving to end funding for recreational activities, including soccer and even English language classes, because they say they need to address the humanitarian crisis that's happening now. What would you do in the short term?
So, first of all, I wouldn't punish these kids for doing what any human being would do faced with the same choice. You know, if you were to remain in your home country and be killed or pressed into service in a murderous gang, or you could flee to the United States, what would you do, or what would any of us do? So the wealthiest, the most powerful country on the face of the planet, a country that is comprised of refugees and asylum seekers and immigrants from the world over, certainly has the resources and the tradition and the self-interest to do the right thing. So let's get the Office of Refugee Resettlement within HHS the resources that they need to make sure that these kids can get an education, can spend some time outside. Let's use a program that I've proposed, the Family Case Management Program, so that you don't have to keep them in detention at all. When they work with a case manager, they show up to their court dates. They make their appointments with their ICE officers. They follow our laws, and they do so at 1/10 of the cost to detain them. So this is humane, this is effective, this is efficient, this is great value for the U.S. taxpayer. At the same time, let's invest in resolving the root problems that have caused people to flee in the first place. President Trump wants to cut all funding to Central America. That will exacerbate the problem and force more families to flee the United States. I want to reduce violence there by investing and working with other countries in the region. That's the best long-term